The movie that I'm going to start off with is called Emilia Pérez, which is actually going to be on Netflix next week, if I'm not mistaken. And it's, to be honest, a little hard to talk about this movie because I certainly don't want to give anything away because I know a ton of people have not seen it yet. But this is just a amalgamation of so many different things. Emilia Pérez is based on an opera libretto, but it's also loosely adapted from a novel that came out in 2018. But this movie is a crime musical trans comedy. Like, that's the best way that I can put all of those elements together. That is just like doing so many different things and taking so many different swings. And I admire it for that. And you may have heard about this movie or may have seen the trailer because it does have some star power attached to it. Zoe Saldaña is in the cast. Selena Gomez is in the cast. They're a part of this film. And this movie is also getting a ton of conversations about potential awards. It did premiere at Cannes. That was when I first heard about it a few months ago. It did win the jury prize, I think female ensemble, and also the Best Actress award. And it's also currently been selected as the French international feature film that's going to be in contention for the Academy Awards when they decide to nail down those nominations. And so it's already gotten a ton of attention, and it did land distribution on Netflix. Wished it got larger theatrical distribution, but that's a conversation for another day. But there's just a lot to talk about with this movie, you know, that I won't get too much into, but I did get a chance to see it. And again, as I mentioned, because it's blending all of these different things and it's about this really, really unique and original story, following a drug cartel leader who basically kidnaps a lawyer played by Zoe Saldaña because the drug cartel leader wants her help to achieve his dream of transitioning into a woman. And now he has to utilize her resources, her wit, her knowledge to help him do that and to transition into becoming a woman. On top of that, there are comedic elements. On top of that, it's a musical. On top of that, it's about trans identity, and it's a crime drama as well. It's doing so many different things. And it is truly, quite possibly, the most original movie that I've seen this year, in every sense of the word, because I've not seen anything like this. And I admire it really for all of that stuff. Like, I really, really appreciate everything that the director was trying to do here, Jacques Audiard. This was a really, really terrific swing to just blend all of these genres and to defy convention in terms of what a movie is supposed to be, what it's supposed to feel like, and also placing a spotlight on trans identity and the experience of being trans and what that ultimately means. And in addition to that, Zoe Saldaña is extraordinary in this film. She's incredible. She's amazing. It is refreshing to see her be amazing, not in blue or green makeup. She's always been incredible. Everything she does, she's excelling at. Like, she's the best part of Avatar: The Way of Water. She's probably the best part of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. She's one of the best parts of Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Like, she is, like, always consistently delivering incredible performances, even in genre filmmaking that you wouldn't naturally think she's going to deliver that type of performance in. She never mails it in. But here, when you can just see her truly act on a dramatic level and flex her talents, it's like, oh my God, she is one of the most underappreciated actresses working today. Like, I really believe that because she's so talented. She's singing and dancing, and, you know, drumline historians are not going to be surprised by this. Like, we saw her dancing 20 years ago. We saw her talents in that movie. So I'm sure certain people will probably be surprised. Like, no, damn, I didn't know Zoe Saldaña could dance and sing like that. But we knew it in drumline a long time ago. But she's able to do that stuff again and really perform and be super dramatic. I mean, she is like truly just a shining part of this small intimate cast. But ultimately, the movie does belong to Karla Sofía Gascón, who's playing the lead character. She's playing the drug cartel boss, Rita Murillo. Or excuse me, not Rita Murillo. She's actually playing Emilia Pérez, the titular character in the movie, who does transition. And she's extraordinary as well. She is a discovery. She's a real life trans individual. And so they went for a full, complete trans, authentic experience there. And I think that that's obviously a good and useful thing that needed to happen here. And she's incredible. She's incredible in this movie. Her journey is really heartfelt. You believe it. You buy into it. And it was a really, really extraordinary thing to see her act off of Zoe Saldaña, because it's kind of a two-hander. They're kind of leading it together in terms of the film, even though it's named after her character. What I will say, though, on the other hand of it, I do think that the film, because it is trying to do so many things, you can question as to whether or not it's successful at all of that stuff. Like the musical elements aren't my favorite. Some of it's really good. The Zoe Saldaña pieces are extraordinary. They're great. The other musical elements, not so much. They're a little understated. They're probably not as bombastic as they need to be, and some of them feel a little weird and clunky at times. And to be honest, that might be because like a lot of the movie is in a different language. A lot of it is in French, or it's in Mexican, Spanish, like it's using a lot of different tools at its disposal. And some of those musical sequences didn't work. It does get a bit melodramatic towards the end of it, where it's like, okay, this is a little crazy here. Soap opera telenovela, big energy for sure by the end of it. Like I totally felt that. But that's not the worst thing. I think that does add a flare of just entertainment value on top of like what is like a pretty heavy story about identity and trying to find yourself, and trying to sort of conceal what that might mean and how it might impact others. Like all big ideas wrapped up into it, but it's just so many things that you have to ultimately digest with this movie that I just don't know if it lands all of those things super successful. I don't know if the musical elements always work. It kind of slows down the momentum at times. One of them is a little. It might be a little bit off-putting. It's about like trans surgery specifically. I just don't know if a lot of people are going to take to that. But ultimately, I do think that the movie is mostly a success. Most notably because of the performances. Like everybody's terrific here. Zoe Saldaña is terrific. Karla Sofía Gascón, and even Selena Gomez. She's also like really, really great. She has a great musical number as well. And so I can't wait for people to see this because I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to be divisive. Not everybody's going to love it. But as I always say, that's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. That's a good thing for our current movie climate. So I can't wait for people to check it out.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to check it out either. You sold me. I'm like, oh man, Emilia Pérez. I do have to see this movie. You said next week on Netflix.
I think so. November 13th, I believe it'll drop on Netflix.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm gonna have a little movie night for it. All right, sounds good.